JJ, we got Johnson! We got Johnson at 26! We got Johnson at 26! This is great!
It is Matt, it is Richie. We are hanging out with the Jets Lounge guys. Richie, my man, how's it going?
Matt, this is sick. We're at the Jets Lounge event in Farmingdale. The main event is what it's called. We got the entire Rucker family over there.
Jets!
Jay! I messed it up already. Let me tell you something. It is the greatest soundtrack in the NFL. But if you want to hear it done right, you need lots of Jet fans to do it. Or you can force a fifth grade class to do it and offer them free baseball cards if they play along. Believe me, I tried it. Anyway, welcome to the Jets Lounge. Welcome to the Pride and Chaos Show. Name the Pride and Chaos Show thanks to your vote. That's right, your vote. And that's why it is the Pride and Chaos Show. But I will still forever remember it as Chaotic Pride. Now, Jets Mess is here. He's saying snacks. I ate some grapes. I was a little healthier a few minutes ago. Maybe I won't have to run to the bathroom today. Tony Alexio, we would all like to wish you our deepest condolences as Streveler is no more. But actually, he passed waivers, and he's going to be on injured reserve, so we still own the rights to Streveler, baby. He's not done yet. Harlan Abraham is here. He's saying, okay, folks, we are here. Welcome to Pride and Chaos. That's right. We're here. We're ready to go. We got a guest tonight. He's already here. I got my co-host here, and we're going to bring him in right about now. Let me find and hit the music. Who used to say that? Somebody used to say that. I think it was Ravishing Rude. Hit the music. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you're wondering, I solved the mystery. He's Italian and he's Irish. Why is he so ugly? Apparently, he's got some German in him. And that's the same thing and piece, baby, that makes him want to beat me up every day. That's a bad joke. That's a bad joke. In reality, he's my knight in shining armor. He's my reason nobody ain't messing with me because he's big and he's bad. And he's like Big John Studd, you can't body slam him. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the pizza eating, meatball and french fries eating, the cheese steak appreciating, the pork roll, cheese egg on a Kaiser roll promoting, the golfing, the daddying, the Jets rooting, the big bad greatest co-host in the world, Nick Stein.
Hi, buddy.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm okay.
I won't let anybody beat you up because
Except
I
you.
want to do that on my own. Yes, I will fight them off because if anyone gets to hurt you, it's gonna be me.
That reminds me of a good story. So we're on my block one day, and this kid who's like 2 years older than me on the block decides, because he has this friend with him, that now he's a tough guy because the friend had a tough motorcycle jacket, right? Tough guy, tough guy. So they come to me and start picking on me. And my brother comes over, that's Matthew, and says, you prepare to die, like basically, And the bully kid comes over, and this kid on my block says, well, I got, because he knew, well, I can't mess with Matthew. So he brought this tough guy to do it. It was like the movie My Bodyguard for real, not the one with the old movie My Bodyguard for the 70s. And my brother said, okay, come on. And the guy starts hitting my brother. He starts punching, and my brother's backing up, and I'm getting nervous, right? And then all of a sudden, my brother says, now it's my turn. And he does a spin kick and punches the kid in the eye. The kid covers his eyes, starts crying, and goes, wait, time out. And my brother goes, there's no timeouts in a street fight in Brooklyn. I mean, really, League of Their Own should pay my brother money when they said there's no crying in baseball, because my brother invented the phrase. Then my brother goes over and starts smacking the other one around that lives on my block. And he goes, I don't understand it. He's like, you hit him all, you hit him all the time, and now you're beating me up because I want to push him around. And my brother says, I'm allowed to hit him. He's mine to hit. He's not yours to hit. And if you ever look at him again, I'll kill you. That's a true story.
Nice.
So you reminded me of that by saying, I won't let anybody hit you because you're mine to hit. But you know what? The person I'm going to announce now, I don't know if he would necessarily allow you to hit me.
In training.
Because this guy, he's no pushover. He's a greasy Italian tank, I tell you. He wears long white thick socks in Nike slippers. He walks around his house like he owns the world. He loves to shop at 2 a.m. He doesn't care. Not this guy. He is the meatball parmesan eating, the chicken cutlet parmesan, grated cheese sprinkling, the New York Jets rooting, the New York Jets travel to watch them play, the New York Jets best guest in the world. Jets. Italy, or Italy Jets.
What's up? How you doing, Andiamo? How's everyone doing tonight? Hey, it's a movement. It's a movement. Even I got Gunny doing it, so it's good stuff. Got everyone doing it.
Oh, look at this. We really started the movement. Right. Randy is saying hello to Nikki Nine Toes.
What's up, Randy?
Gotta love it. Our best friend K Yeti is in the house. What's going on, K Yeti?
Hey, Yeti.
Johnny Jimenez. He's making the rounds, Johnny. Johnny's everywhere. You can't get away from Johnny. Johnny's a diehard Mets fan or Jets fan. He's a Mets fan too.
Rogers walk out too.
He's a Mets fan too. New York Jets fan 4. What's going up, buddy? Knobcraft is in the house. We're going to start calling him Salty Craft. John Nolte's getting all kinds of nice and sweet and tender. Knob is becoming the salty one. Knob is salty. So Italy Jets, even in the chat, he's here. He's in the chat. He's everywhere. You can't get away from him. I love it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you can't get away from me. Even you could try, but I'm still there.
I was watching Peacock the other day, and like he popped up. It's like, why aren't you watching one of the 400 shows I do a week?
It's a me. It's a Mario.
Jet Petroleum is here.
Oh man,
I love this. I sold stuff for a living. I'll tell you, man. You know, people at the table might be able to add their own salt, but it doesn't matter. It's not supposed to happen. So chefs take it very personally. You're not supposed to make it that the person at the table needs to salt their food because you're supposed to spice it up just perfect. That's
I
the
need to go. I need to call Vegas. Aside from the introductions, because I know you're going to mention food during the introductions, the over and under again on you mentioning food was 10 minutes, and it was like right at the 10-minute mark. So it's actually impressive because with like the 2-minute introduction with the music, you're 8 minutes into the show and you brought up food. So that paid out again this week for those who bet the under.
Oh, really? I thought it was a push. The under over wasn't 10 minutes?
No, I'm taking out the 2-minute intro video. So now the show is only down to 8 minutes of you being on live.
Okay.
I'm swaying it. I'm swaying the odds into so everybody bet the under hit.
You know, I have a feeling that somehow Strevler's going to make it back into the team and still have some role in all of this. You never know.
I mean,
Even there, you're mentioning food when you say he's going to have a role.
A little bit of butter,
yeah,
and some coffee.
He's going to be sweet out of the backfield, like corn, like Jersey corn.
Eminon is letting everybody know all the way from Vegas. He's saying, hit that button. Hit that button. Unless you don't like to eat. Unless you don't like to eat. Okay. Some people watch on their TVs and it's not so easy to hit the like button.
We got Vegas. We got Johnny in Virginia Beach. Johnny, you live in Virginia Beach or you watching from there? You on vacation?
No, he knows about the Virginia fan club, the Virginia.
Oh, yeah?
Fan club. That's
where
they get together and watch the games.
Oh, he lives down there? That's dope.
I think so, yeah. So he's right by it. Johnny, let us know. Do you go to are you part of the Virginia Jets fan club? Because you live right there, brother. Yeah. So anyway, we got a lot going on. Hard Knocks came on yesterday. I know a lot of fans didn't want it. This, that, we don't want it, we don't care. But apparently, there are cameras everywhere. There's anyway. Apparently, they're saying that they're not really being disruptive. There's all the One Jets Drive cameras anyway, and there's some entertainment there. So anyway, I'll tell you my favorite part. I put out a video about it. My favorite part. Oh, he's watching around the whole club. Cool. I love it. Prizes, things like that. Great way to watch a Jet game in a bar every week with other Jet fans if you don't live in New York. It's a great thing. So I love the part when they were playing the pylon game where you had to hit the pylon and they were saying funny things to distract each other. And when Hackett's was his turn to throw, Aaron Rodgers yelled out, Sean Payton. I thought that was hysterical.
Oh, definitely. That's the only way he would. He missed a lot, but man, just getting that was perfect.
It was just beautiful. Just beautiful.
I like that they're having fun. They actually look like they all love each other. It's different. They look like they like each other.
Yeah, they're having a great time. They're working hard.
Yeah,
but they're having a great time. Like we're starting where it's not like it's a team that has to gel and grow close and have all these weeks of some losing and then coming. No, they're starting the season by game one. They're coming in there as brothers. They all love each other. They're all supporting each other. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
It's great. I tweeted today. So Aaron Rodgers is a great leader who unites his teammates. He's mentoring. He's happy. He's having fun. Good Lord. Every single thing that Packers fans told us this offseason. Wrong.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
You got to do it with you got to do like the caca. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
It's possible that the bad version of Aaron Rodgers they were describing is what happens when you trade up for a quarterback in the first round when you have Aaron freaking Rodgers on your team.
Hey, I watched How to Make a Murderer. Nobody looks happy living out in Wisconsin. Everyone who got interviewed in that documentary looks miserable.
It's not fun being out there right now. Not even close.
But anyway,
I love cheese, and even I would get fed up out there.
Anyway, Aaron Rodgers is here. He's our quarterback. And that's
how great did he look, though? Like, if you're an Aaron Rodgers hater, right? If you're a Dolphin fan, if you're a Packer fan, and you were ready to sit there and just grind the axe and then get ready. You had your fingers ready to go for Twitter, the first like stupid thing that you thought he would do. And then you're sitting there at the end of the show and you're like, oh shit. He's like a cool dude. Like everything you've been told about him, he's having fun with his teammates. He's having fun with coaches. He's having fun with Liev Schreiber. I'm like, me, I said this many times, is not breaking news. I have had a man crush on Rodgers since the Super Bowl year. When he's quarterback on television, whoever I was with at the time, kids, girlfriend, they knew Nick's going to sit and watch Aaron Rodgers play. I was must-see TV for me, watching him play the quarterback position. But even I was a little skeptical, like, what are we getting? I'm watching last night, I'm like, who would ever speak a bad word about this guy? He's like football Jesus. He's so lovable.
Yeah, I mean, when you had that one player say, and he's cool as fuck too, you know,
right?
Like that was so cool.
Yeah,
like,
Al Woods.
He looks at the camera and he goes, "Don't you believe anything you're on TV about Aaron Rodgers?"
Right.
Yeah, which means he's like me. He's been like tainted with the thought, and you're like, dude, this guy. And I saw him on a documentary. I'm not in the locker room with him. I'm not in meetings room, cafeteria room, practice, and you see that. A 39-year-old quarterback who is only 18, 19 months removed from a magical MVP season is rejuvenated and happy and enthusiastic. Like, there's nobody who plays a sport better, in my opinion, than somebody who has the passion but can control their emotions and concentrate, focus, and deliver. I don't think our expectations are maybe high enough with what we're getting.
But I did name the show, and Raw Power brings it up. And I think to answer Raw Power, there's no excuses this year. Like, in other words, we're going to find now that he's had a lot of time to do it. I think that the determining factor for the year that we're going to have, the thing that could stop us or could propel us with everything we have at this point,
Locust.
The offensive line. Now, Raw Power pointed it out. He said, JD, last year, excuses. I don't want excuses. You have to build an offensive line. None of it will work without an offensive line. Mm-hmm. If you really want to win. I'm not talking about making the playoffs. I'm talking about being a true contender. True contender, we need an offensive line, not only pass blocking, run blocking, so we can have a good running game, and pass blocking so we don't get our quarterback killed. And we give him time. And we give Garrett Wilson time, and everything will be great. If that happens, we'll be unbeatable. So to me, this is the test. I don't want to hear any more excuses. He had 1 million. He's brought in, he's drafted guys, he's paid guys. I want a freaking functional offensive line. I think Raw Power is 100% correct. There's no more excuses. This is do or die. The offensive line needs to come out and perform. And I think there's a chance that they could be very good. But at the same time, I admit that if things don't fall the wrong way, they could then also be very bad. They're the biggest question mark on the team. What do you think, Italy?
I think you hit the nail right on that coffin, man. I honestly, the offensive line, I mean, you can even say today, they all look flat on offense. Rodgers said in his press conference, Corey Davis, McGovern was frustrated. It's one of those things where Becton, what he had, like 14, he had 14 snaps today. I mean, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. He had a good practice. That's encouraging. Mitchell did not have a good practice today. That's not good. You bring in Hermans, right? You bring in Hermans right off waivers, and you cut the guy we got from the Patriots. And I'm trying to believe. I love this team so much. I'm trying to believe that I think there's something coming. I think there's something else coming for this offensive line. Whether we're going to trade someone or we're going to get someone off waivers or a free agent, I'm not yet giving up because I just know we all know JD, right? We all know JD on what he can do and what deals he can get done and trades what he can do. So I'm not like hitting the biggest panic button yet, but it's definitely a concern because of JD.
Yeah. Oh, Hank can't see it. And he sucks that I can't. They don't hear Knox until Friday here in Canada. You don't have the app? You don't have the Max app?
I don't think. Does Max even go to Canada?
I have no idea.
I don't know if it does actually.
You got to find a way to hack that. Come on, it's Canada. They're not that far away. You got to be able to hack in somehow.
VPN. Just saying. Just saying.
What do you think, Nick? You big sexy man.
I don't know. Thank you for reminding everybody. I'm not. My hand's not on the panic button yet. Brown's not there. Mitchell's coming back from something. Becton's coming back from something. I want to see progress. Saleh said about a week and a half ago they wanted to have the offensive line set after the Carolina game. So I think there's reason for concern, but I'm not panicking yet. If we were healthy and we had our set 5 and we knew who that was, because right now we're trying guys around, we're moving guys around. Mitchell's been on the left, Mitchell's been on the right, Turner's been left and right, Becton's been just left. I'm not panicking. I just, when we get the 5 together, it's 3 weeks, it's 21 to 25 days of just getting better every day, getting that chemistry, getting that cohesion. I'm not going to do that now without some time with a set 5 because it's basically tryouts. So once you're comfortable and you know where you're going to be and you know what you're going to position you're going to be at and you stop working on both of them, that's when you'll see, I think, the water level rise for the line. You know, Rodgers loves that quick pass. If he don't like what he sees, he's going to dump it off to Hardman or somebody else quickly. That's going to help the offensive line. You know, if you sneak up a safety, we're taking a shot downfield, something that we haven't been able to check to the last several years because it just wasn't that faith in the quarterback. The quarterback play will be better, and getting the ball out and having a hot route and knowing where to go with the reads is going to help the line. And that'll also help the line get better too, right? Because their mistakes will be minimized with getting the ball out on time, in my opinion. You know, it's one hand helps the other. You're holding the ball for 3-4 seconds in the NFL on any team, you're getting sacked. Or there's a holding penalty. Either one. You can't really stand in the pocket that long and hold the ball. So let's keep an eye on it, but I'm not jumping off any cliffs yet.
You know what I think is going to happen? Honestly, I honestly believe this. I believe that Brown is going to come back. They're going to stick him at left tackle. You're going to start seeing Becton playing more and more snaps at right tackle. And at the beginning of the year, when the season starts, the opening day lineup is going to be Brown, Lincoln Tomlinson, McGovern, AVT, and Becton. That's what I think the starting 5 is going to be. Now I'm hoping I'm wrong and Tippmann's going to win the job outright. But I think that he has to. It's not even enough for him to be a little bit better to win the job. He has to be significantly better to win the job. And I think there's a chance it might take a few games into the season for him to finally get the nod. You know what I mean? So that's what my gut tells me. I think that if I'm wrong anywhere, I think it's going to be Tippmann. But I'm thinking positively. I think that Becton is going to play more and more snaps. He's going to end up on the right side not because he's worse than Dwayne Brown, but because Dwayne Brown cannot play right tackle and Becton can. And I think when they say best 5, I think our best 5, regardless of who is at center, is with Brown at left tackle and Becton at right tackle, because those are our 2 best tackles on the team when healthy. And I'm thinking positively that Becton is going to be healthy.
Do you think it's a disservice to Becton to exclusively play him at left tackle now if moving him to right is a probability?
I don't know. I think that they're trying to give him the
He's
chance.
got 0 reps at right tackle. Before he got with team activities, he was doing right and left drops in the end zone. He's also working on his own. But in team reps, he's been exclusively left. I think that's unfair to him. If the notion is there to move him, you want to see him working at both, because now you don't want to give him 3 weeks of left and say, oh, now we're moving you to right. Because now you're fucking with the kid again. Right?
Yeah,
when Dwayne Brown gets healthy, it's Dwayne Brown's spot.
Well, they may have told him that. They may have said, we're gonna take a good look at you on the left side, and you're the backup left tackle. Like Dwayne Brown's gonna come back with 2 weeks left in camp, or 2.5, 3 weeks left in camp. He's gonna play left tackle every day. Now you're gonna work out at right tackle every day. If Dwayne Brown is good to go, you'll play right tackle. But you're the backup left tackle, so we want you to get work in there because if anything happens to Dwayne, you're moving over to the left side,
I'll be
and
right back.
Mitchell's coming in. And I think what's happening is that's being strengthened because Mitchell's not playing well on the left side. Like everyone's saying, oh, Mitchell's having a bad practice. Mitchell was playing left tackle. He's not a left tackle.
Yeah.
You know, and Turner. Everyone's saying Turner's not doing well in camp. He's having a bad camp. He's not a left tackle, and they're playing him at left tackle. That's the thing. I think they're establishing the reality that Becton is clearly the backup left tackle, meaning
Yes.
when he plays right tackle, if something happens to Brown, Becton is clearly winning the nods that he will move over from the right side and play left tackle, and that's what's best for the team. And I think it's good that he's getting the reps in at left tackle now with Brown not there, and I think there'll be plenty of time. There'll be 21 days left or 23 or 24 days left because Brown's coming back soon. And if he plays all 24 days after that, taking snaps at right tackle, Becton will be ready in the season to be in both roles. He's the right tackle 1, he's the left tackle 2, in case something happens to Brown. That's just my guess of what I think might be going on.
And not only that, like I agree with you both on it's definitely going to be Brown, Lakin. I think McGovern's going to do it too. But I love what McGovern's press conference said about Joe Tippmann. And you know, you got to give the guy time. He played the whole entire game. Tippmann played the whole entire game, and he did fine. No one heard anything. No one said anything about it, and that means that's good. Becton, the only thing I'm concerned with Becton on the right side is
His knee.
exactly his knee. That concerns me.
Yeah.
Because he, even though he doesn't want to play the right side, I think he's still good enough to start on this team. I still think he's going to make it. I don't think we're going to trade him. I don't think we're going to cut him. I think they've invested so much into him that he is going to start. And I'm afraid week 1, Bills, that if he does play on that right side, the knee is going to be chopped again. But like I said, I hope I'm wrong, and I'm hoping that Dwayne Brown can come back healthy and he can play the backup. So maybe if Brown isn't healthy, he's over there, and then Mitchell can step up more and more. That's what I'm thinking.
I'll tell you what, with the way Turner and Mitchell are playing, even though they're out of position at left tackle and they're right tackles, but the way they've been playing, I don't think we could trade Becton if he's healthy. Like, I don't think we can. I mean, we're not getting what we wanted out of that. We thought we were getting an experienced prior starter in Turner, and he's not looking good. Mitchell's not looking like he did last year. And I'm not saying it's early in camp. I'm not saying that they're not going to be fine by the season. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't know how you could trade away a healthy Becton when you're not seeing quality play out of those other guys, because then you're creating a definite problem, you know, because you definitively have to put Mitchell or Turner in, and they haven't looked good. And I'm not comfortable with that unless they go out and they bring in someone else. What do you think, Nick?
I think it's very probable he gets traded. If someone makes an offer, he goes and plays this first half and gets through it. I mean, they keep saying Dwayne Brown. They're talking about Brown so highly. I don't think you talk about that guy like this if you're Saleh, and then you bring him back and you put him as a backup. I don't think, for me as a coach, if I'm putting a player at a position, I want him getting to maximize his reps at that position. I'm not taking my right tackle off my line and giving him reps at fullback or left guard just for the hell of it. I want him at right tackle every single time. You know, I want him to maximize his abilities so he's ready for the opener. I don't know. It seems like there's something there that we're not privy to. Because you can't play Brown and Becton both at left tackle. I just think there's something in the works. And for me, the signs point to a possible trade.
I just want to point out one thing, not to interrupt the show too much. But, Nick, you using the word privy tickles me in such a funny way. But okay.
That's the Nick Shine word of the week. A little respect to Pee Wee Herman. Ah!
Okay. But, you know, I honestly think I really do. I just think it's gonna be Brown on the left side, and I think it's going to be Becton on the left side. That's what I see.
And you might be right. You might be right. I'm looking at it for conversation purposes from a different angle, and I don't want him to be traded, but part of me thinks with what everyone's saying about Brown and how highly he's regarded, it could be a possibility, right?
Yeah.
Hey, that's what we do on the show. We amuse and we arouse. This is my AA meeting for Wednesday. Amusal and arousal.
And we eat cheese.
Yeah. American. It's AAA. We now service your car, too.
Look, we're saying it. We all agree. We would rather right now know who our starting five is. I think the coaching staff knows deep down. I think deep down they have the plan and they know what they want. I might be wrong about who the starting five are, but I don't think I'm wrong about that. I think in their heads, unless they're surprised or unless something develops, I think in their head they know who the five are going to be. I honestly do.
A little Cranberries reference. A little in your head.
In your head.
Speaking of the Cranberries, the great state of New Jersey just had a law written in the other day that the cranberry juice is now the state juice. I swear to God, that's real. It happened 2 days ago. I swear to God.
What the fuck are they doing in Jersey?
The new lieutenant governor signed it in because Murphy was out of state, and the previous lieutenant governor passed away spontaneously. Good things going on in Jersey here, man. Top of the food chain, baby. The only thing good to happen in New Jersey, Aaron frickin' Rodgers. And kudos to TMZ Sports. I now know where Aaron Rodgers just purchased a $9.5 million house with the address in Cedar Grove, New Jersey, part of Montclair. So if anyone wants to go on a road trip with me, hit me up. I'm gonna go trick or treating. What are you? I'm Nicky Nine Toes. What's up, A-Rod?
Yeah. I don't think it's being a downer. I think it's just being honest. The reality is, so don't worry about it. It's McAteer. The reality is the offensive line has the most questions on this team. They're the most concerning. I'm less concerned about the safety room than I ever was because it's like every freaking day, everybody, whether it's the press, the team, whether it's Richie from Jets Media, who's there at the practices, Tony Adams makes plays every single day. He is lighting up camp. I think we have our free safety. And I think we understand now. I think we understand why we lost Jason Pinnock. I think that we're finding out why. Tony Adams is apparently the real deal.
Fighting Illini, baby. Fighting Illini. I've seen a lot of tape with him fighting Illini. I went to a game and I saw him live. The dude's everywhere. He's everywhere. They put him at linebacker sometimes. When he's with Witherspoon, the guy who plays for the Seahawks, they were very good together. And I'm actually really, really excited to see what Tony Adams could do. He said last year, I'm coming here to take a job. Come here to take someone's job. And he did. And I seriously think he's going to be a great starting free safety.
So I think the secondary is going to be very good. Obviously with our cornerbacks, best tandem in the league, best trio in the league. When you think of Michael Carter II, right? We re-signed. Right. We re-signed Quincy's. Him with Mosley right away, you're good there. We play mostly 2-5 anyway. And then when not, Sherwood's looking fine and everyone's saying good things about him. So I think we're solid there. I don't know Chaz Surratt, how seriously injured he is, but he looked great and they love him. The defensive line, we don't have to talk about. It's why we're have a chance to be the best defense in the NFL. The wide receiver room's good. The run, we could say it a million times. We got the quarterback, we got tight ends. This is about the offensive line, and it's important because for the receivers and for the running game and for all those other parts to mean anything, you kind of have to have an offensive line. It's just reality.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I'm very excited with seeing how awful Miami's offensive line looked against the Falcons, though. That made me smile.
Man, I got a little song for Mr. Surratt, so I'm glad Raw brought it up. Que Surratt, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Just Surratt, what will be, will be. Because Salah loves him.
I think Chaz Surratt makes the 53. I think you have to go with 5 linebackers, right? You have to have I mean, actually, he could be the fourth. So you have to go. I mean, he technically could be the fourth, right? I mean, you got C.J. Mosley, you got Williams, you got Sherwood. Nasruddin is gone now. We didn't re-sign Quan. I mean, why not Chaz Surratt as number 4? But he's got to be healthy. He's got to be healthy.
Yeah, I think Surratt, and I think it's going to be down to Surratt and Barnes trying to make this team.
Oh, yes, right. We can't.
And then
drafted Barnes. I mean,
and then Sherwood. I think Sherwood makes the team. So I think it's going to be down to those two guys. What do you guys think?
I think we try to hide Barnes on the practice squad.
I think that's if Surratt keeps playing like the way he has. Shout out North Carolina Tar Heel, by the way. He keeps playing the way he has.
It's everywhere.
I mean, he's making plays, right? This defense is about speed, opportunity, execution. Check, 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 right? Like, he looks like he fits this scheme. And people will say, oh, you didn't have success anywhere else. I reference Rich Gannon again. Rich Gannon bounced around the league for many years before he found the coaching staff and a system that fit his skills, and he was able to make the most of his career. So sometimes guys fail in places and they get the right situation and it just clicks. The way the coaches teach it, the way they absorb it, the way it's explained, the way the skill set matches what the scheme requires. Sometimes it just fits. And this might be a guy who just fits.
Just like,
sorry. I waited for one of you guys. I said it twice.
I like it. Hey, just like Tannehill with Tennessee. He did really well, and then now some of his coaches are gone now. So we'll see what he's really going to be like this year, because with Corey Davis and Tannehill had a great connection. Rodgers loves Corey Davis, and I still think he's going to be here. That's how much when a system just works, just like with Hackett, everything comes together.
So do you guys know? Johnny's asking. I'm reading this, and I honestly don't know the answer. I didn't hear anything. Do you guys have any inside information on what the Carolina beat writers are saying about the Jets?
I don't pay attention to other teams. I don't.
I don't know.
Buffalo and Tego have their ear to the ground with that stuff. Tego, you know what happened with the Panthers beat writer?
You know what they're saying?
I didn't get anything.
I heard about it, but I don't know like what specifically it is. But I know social media, Twitter, there's been a few things going on.
Is it just Jets fans overreacting because somebody mentioned our team? Because that's a common thing, and it's hard to tell with what deserves a reaction and what doesn't sometimes with Jets Twitter.
That's why I separate that.
Am I wrong? Sure, am I wrong?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's why
Sean
I separate
Payton reaction justified. Somebody showing that Garrett Wilson is 7th in the league as a receiver going into the season, not in top 5, outrage, not justified. So it's tough to tell. Like, anytime someone mentions the Jets, it's like all the Twitter people round up and attack. So I take it with a grain of salt now. Tego saying from the beat writers, I saw they didn't really say anything bad about the Jets. Yeah, I haven't caught anything. I've been peeking on X, Twitter.
I mean, like I said, it's just going around.
Johnny, let us know, Tego, if you know anything more than that. If you have any details and you want to report on it, come on in here, join up, and let us know. I guess he knows something. Oh,
jeez.
What's up?
My phone vibrated. I thought, what the hell? I'm not doing nothing.
Do you know what's going on? What you know what Johnny's referring to?
I don't know of anything specifically that Johnny's referring to. I think there was just more of a question being posed of like, hey, did we see anything from the Carolina beat writers? And from what I was able to gather from like I follow for this week the ESPN writer for the Carolina Panthers, the Athletics writer for the Carolina Panthers, and then there's one more guy. And it was exactly what we thought they would say. It's the same things that we heard, which was the Carolina Panthers defensive line absolutely dominated the New York Jets offensive line. But even with that, Aaron Rodgers was so good that he was able to dice up the secondary and be effective there, even with the offensive line failing. And on the other side of the ball, they have to look at everything with a positive light, obviously, for the Carolina Panthers. But it's the opposite of what we heard about the New York Jets defense dominating the Carolina offensive line and their offense, and really giving Bryce Young a hard time. If they were allowed to really like hit and sack, the messaging is that they would have had a really hard time with the New York Jets defense. Now, all of that being said, there's a couple of things to take into consideration on both sides of the ball, right? We were resting starters, but so were they. Their full offensive line unit was not out there. I think 2 guys from their starting 5 was not practicing. So we were facing essentially some backups on the offensive line. But to be fair, he got pick 6 by Brandon Eccles, not by Sauce. So same kind of thing, conversation. It wasn't like there was anything good or bad being said, just reporting from the other side of the ball. Hey, Bryce Young went 14 of 22. The defensive line gave the offensive line a really, really hard time. And that was that.
Yeah, so that makes sense that they're going to point out their positives,
Of course.
right? I mean, they're going to talk about it from their perspective. I thought they may have said something very anti-Jets, like this team's overrated, or it doesn't sound like they said anything controversial, or it doesn't sound like they said anything wrong at all.
No. I follow 3 guys who are attached to national media outlets, because if you follow the guy who writes for the Carolina Times. Mm-hmm. That guy might, to really drive clicks, might have to do something super clickbaity, like what we're seeing with all of these New York radio station people coming up with these crazy ass takes. Sorry, pardon my French, about Aaron Rodgers and the Jets after Hard Knocks episode 1. But from the people that I actually trust, that have legitimate journalism degrees and are going to do the things the right way, it's nothing but positives about what they took away from the Carolina practice. Through a lens of Carolina blue instead of Gotham green, which is what we tend to look at, obviously.
Right. Now, Italy, what do you
go? Check your text. Go ahead.
Italy, Italy, what do you think of Zach Wilson? They said had a really bad practice today, right? And it follows a few really good practices. But already I saw a couple of people saying, I told you he can't be our number 2. How do you react to that when a guy has a bad practice after 3 or 4 very good practices?
It's just practice. He's going to be fine.
Allen Iverson from the corner.
Wait, who was saying had a bad practice?
There were some people saying that Zach Wilson had a bad practice, bad scrimmage today.
Oh, yeah, he did.
But
that's why he's a backup.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Aaron Rodgers had an off day the other day.
That's what I mean.
I'm not worried about it. It's just too much smoke. There's adding smoke to the fire.
It's also. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And also people are starting to like Zach Wilson again. The team. If you've seen One Jets Drive and Hard Knocks, they like him. And I mean, look at Becton. Becton and Zach Wilson were dabbing it up during the game. He's a backup. He's learning under Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers loves him. It's just one practice. Move on.
He's had 3 good ones and then a bad one. I think every single one of us would have signed up for Zach having 3 good games and 1 bad one last year. If he played good in 75% of his starts, we were a playoff team.
That's right.
And let's also not act like the Carolina Panthers defensive line is just full of chumps.
Oh no, they're quality.
They have a quality defensive line. We've all seen the tape of that spin move against Becton. And Becton dominated at practice against everyone not named Brian Burns. But of course, because Brian Burns is one of the most underrated edges in the league. We know the problems with the offensive line depth. This expectation that the 2s are going to be able to keep up with the depth that Carolina has, it's just not real. It's the same thing that the New York Jets defense did to Carolina's first team offensive line and second team offensive line. Good defensive line units just break games open, and that's what happened.
Q had a great practice.
So we did.
He was unstoppable.
So we did the same thing to them with our defensive line.
Oh yeah, first and second team. First and second team. There were, from what I was able to find, there was at least 6 sacks today. And like from random players, like Solomon Thomas blew up the middle during a play against the second team. Like
McDonald,
Jermaine Johnson, McDonald, Clemens blew up a play off of the edge. Everybody was getting sacks. And it's just like, well, yeah, that's what good defensive lines do.
Yeah.
I kind of chalk it up to offensive linemen. I chalk them up to hitters in baseball, right? It's like, okay, we know you can go out and you could probably get a hit in Major League Baseball against starting pitchers, but we want you to see some live pitching first and work your way up to this level. And I almost feel that offensive linemen, as much as you try to simulate a game when you do reps, you don't realize how quick these defensive linemen are until you're out there doing it every day. And it maybe takes a little bit to get that, like that game shape, right? We talk about in basketball all the time. We hear that he's in shape, but he's not in game shape. So maybe the offensive lineman is the same thing, you know, like, let's be real. We're getting more coverage and more information from practices than we've ever had before. You know, it's a day and era where every single play, if there's fans there, every single play is going to end up being online. The good, the bad, the mistakes, the blow-ups. So we got to, you know, take it with a grain of salt that this game has been played for a very long time and that a lot of different people have come and gone in the game and coaching the game and playing the game. And for the most part, everything ends up being okay. And then you know who your starters are and you're all right. I just think with everybody looking for the next thing to complain about, and then you have a certain group, part of the fan base that don't know what to complain about, and they'll just jump on and join the riot. When they see somebody that they follow or has a lot of followers makes a comment, it's like, okay, I adopt this too. Rubble, rubble, rubble. I'm angry. It's not every tantrum needs attention, right? Sometimes it's okay just to let the stupid text and the tweets or X's, whatever the fuck they're called, go. You know, it's everyone wants to be the next big story on Twitter. They want their tweet to go viral. They're trying to think of the next comment that's different, or how to react, or how to insult the player, or how to attack Becton. I'm not about that, man. I will admit, and Tigo and Jeremy knows, Italy, you probably know too, there are times when Nick gets baited and Nick takes the bite that he shouldn't. Sometimes I chomp.
Okay.
Sometimes I get myself involved in something.
And then when you chomp, you don't let go.
Damn it, I'm like, I hate myself for this.
And you don't let go. You hold on.
No. I got time, bro. Mickey Nine Toes has time. It's more like this.
I want to say to Raw Power, I think two things could be true. I think that Zach could definitely and probably statistically is a bust. But at the same time, he could be a decent backup quarterback, because both can be true. Considering he was the second overall pick in the draft, him being and amounting to a decent backup quarterback is a bust. So he could be both. Both could be true. He could end up being a bust, no more than a backup quarterback, but at the same time, he could be a halfway decent backup quarterback. That when he does come in, he can keep his team in the game, manage the game well, kind of like how he managed the game against Buffalo. He didn't win us the game against Buffalo, but he certainly managed it well. So if we can just get that Zach as a backup quarterback that can manage games and even have a game like he did against Pittsburgh, where he's able to, make a nice comeback, that's a great backup quarterback, if you ask me.
Here's my expectations for Zach the next 3 years. Maybe just 2. Who knows how it's going to play out with the last one. Here's how I look at it. Just do great in week 18 after we have the 1 seed locked up and none of our starters are playing. Have a nice showing. Maybe one of the games will be at home. You throw a touchdown. The fan base goes a little wild. And then you get a Super Bowl ring or 2 as a backup quarterback. There's nothing wrong with that career. Many, many guys would rather take the Super Bowl ring. Ask Phillip Rivers if he would give up some starts and some stats and some touchdowns for a ring.
And Chad Henne.
The reality.
Chad Henne's got rings.
Yeah, he's got rings. Backup quarterback, Chiefs. Chad
and now he's like, didn't he sign on as the Chiefs quarterback coach or something? Like he went from Mahomes' backup to his coach. That's a good career, man. You're coaching Patrick Mahomes. You're the positional coach for Patrick Mahomes. Talk about fucking job security. Like, that's the safest job in sports. I'm Steph Curry's shooting coach, and I'm Patrick Mahomes' quarterback coach. That's it. Or you're Joey Chestnut's eating coach. Those are the 3 safest jobs in all of American sports right now.
But the even other Chase Daniel's got a ring, and he's one of the highest paid backups like a few years ago. But come on. Yeah.
The thing too is that, like, whether it works out in New York or not for Zach's going to be a starter again in the NFL, because some coach, and it's probably going to be for the San Francisco 49ers, some coach is going to look at that and be like, dude, sitting behind, he was the number 2 overall pick. Mike LaFleur was absolutely not a good enough offensive coordinator and a rookie staff and all of that stuff. He sat behind Aaron Rodgers in back-to-back Super Bowl wins. You know, we'll give this kid a shot because he's got all the physical tools. We know that the problem with Zach is up here. It's all mental. It's not anything physical about it. And that's it.
And his feet.
Dude made $32 million, gets the ring or 2, retire after your first contract. Just be like, you know what? I'm good.
Why? When the Washington Commanders exist and they still can't figure out a quarterback situation?
To be fair, Dom, you were one of my many anger management counselors. So thank you, pal.
Dude, I honestly, Zach could go to Miami. It could be the Miami Jets. I mean, they're already plugging away.
He's got every single physical tool under the sun to make it work. He can make every throw on the field. He's athletic enough to do all that stuff. The problem is he gets 2 in his head, and then all of the mechanics go out the window. And that's like anybody who watches Zach at practice versus Zach in the game will say that. It's the same thing. It's the same problem. He doesn't go through his progressions and all that stuff, which is why, like, the Hall of Fame game was so, like, nice to watch, because, like, dude went through 4 progressions before bailing on that play that he slipped on. Like, he went through all 4 reads, 1, 2, 3, 4, went back to 1 to see, and then bailed out from the play, and then got all jittery feet. And
was still looking to throw when he slipped, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He still had his eyes downfield.
Yeah, he was. And that nice throw to Malik Taylor, too.
Yeah.
Look, there's 2 realities. The reality is I agree that he has freaking crazy talent. And this is all in his head. This is all mental. And is it going to, like, and I think Mike White said it really well. At some point, as far as the being able to read and go through progressions, for some people it clicks, and for some people it takes time to click. It's obvious the physical attributes are there. The guy's got a great arm. He can do freakish things. He's good on his feet. It means nothing if it doesn't click for him. If he can't beat the psychological part of the game, it doesn't mean anything. So I think the talent is there. There's always a part of me that's going to hope that he can be a starter someday, and it would be for the New York Jets. I would really love to see it happen and him be successful. But the other reality for me is I've been watching football for over 40 years, and it's just statistically very rare. It's very rare a quarterback comes into the league, plays 2 full seasons, gets benched, and probably he's going to be benched for us for at least 2 seasons, and then comes back and has a really good career. And I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's rare. So that reality, I can't ignore that reality, that it would be an anomaly.
It's amazing he's still with the team. A lot of times, as we all expected, you move on at that point, right? Like,
we move on
normally, kudos to the Jets, maybe. Maybe it's a smart move. Joe Douglas has made a lot of good moves. Maybe hanging on to Zach is the right thing to do. When a lot of us thought he lost the team, he lost the locker room, and we all thought it was a no-brainer that you move on from that, and just a fresh start is good for everybody. But kudos to all parties involved for making it work. And Zach has towed the company line. He's saying all the right things. He looks like this has been a maturation process for him. And sometimes you need to get spanked on the bottom and man up. And maybe this is his I'm going to man up moment. He's had a relationship with Rodgers. It's not like they brought in somebody that he had no relationship with. He's had a connection with Rodgers. They talk in the offseason. They were buddies last year at the preseason dual scrimmage. A lot of conversation was had. And I'll root for the kid because he's wearing our uniform, and I always root for whoever wears uniform. But We'll see. It's to be determined, right? Like there's a million different ways this story could end, but right now it's kind of a bit of like a shocking story, in my opinion. It's one of those suspense dramas. It's a John Grisham novel that just takes a twist. Like, I didn't expect him to be here, and I didn't expect it to be going this well. I thought the fans would have booed him the first time they saw him, but he's doing the right thing. Listen, going forward, we don't want to have any Zach Wilson conversation. Like right now, after this Giant game, it's the last we should talk about Zach Wilson all season, right? Yeah. Except in the blowouts when he comes in and gets some burn, or week 18 when he gets some burn. There should be no Zach Wilson discussion. Kid looks good holding a clipboard. Those baby blue eyes rock the hell out of that clipboard. That's it.
It's one of those things where it's like we're at a point in time in the season where like, who cares about the ones and the twos? Like, who cares about the ones? Because like we know who the ones are. We don't like. We've had our fun talking about Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Fame quarterback. So when he does Hall of Fame things, like that's just the standard. And so now it's like
that sentence.
And that's,
oh
yeah, no.
We got a Hall of Fame quarterback doing Hall of Fame things.
Yeah,
I felt
like Hard Knocks episode, right? It's like only one guy on the planet can do that, and that's our guy. Like, and it's true, but it's one of those things of like how much time and attention and like effort and just energy are we putting into wide receiver 6 right now? The battle between Brownlee, Malik Taylor, and Xavier Gibson. Dude, like, is wide receiver 6.
Yeah.
Like, they might play 90 snaps all year. Like, legitimate offensive. Like, you get all up into the hype. Like, even I made a video talking about the fact that, like, I was hype on Jason Brownlee and I went hyperbolic with it and was like, offensive rookie of the year incoming, you know, but like, come on. We're talking about wide receiver 6, talk about cornerback 6, and we're freaking out about it.
I can tell you I'm more, and I agree with you about like this season and how much of a role they'll have. And to the point where my bigger thing about it, Tigo, like the thing I care more about in their choice is more just thinking, if one of those guys could really be a guy that develops and ends up stepping in when Corey Davis is gone and one day be a WR3, you know, and be significant, I hope we get the right guy. I hope we don't take a guy, let the others go, the others get snagged, and then they end up being WR2 or whatever, or 3 for another team on the cheap, when it could have been a really good replacement for Corey Davis or something. So I care more about making the right choice for that than I'm worried about this season. So I kind of agree with you on that.
I totally agree.
But, you know, I'm more worried about the future is I don't want to see us like, okay, Gibson wins the job and we let Brownlee go and then he ends up being a freaking stud somewhere. That would burn me. That would rub me the wrong way.
The one that would get me upset is like, let's say we keep Gibson or Brownlee or whichever one over the other one. I think whoever stays, because it's only one of them is going to stay, right? If one of them stays, the other one's going to get claimed. And the thing that I think is really going to like suck is if Randall Cobb makes the team and then goes down with an injury during the year and we don't have like Gibson, because like there is or Brownlee, because there's a real shot that the Carolina Panthers are going to claim some of these Jets. This is the biggest problem with these joint practices is that you get one-on-one scouting opportunities. That's why they bring their offensive coaching staff, their pro scout staffs to these joint practices. And I even made a list of some players that the New York Jets should be scouting, because if the Carolina Panthers cut them, they could be legitimate contributors to the team. Yeah. That being said, it's really going to suck when like, if we keep Gibson because of his special teams talent, and then you cut Brownlee, hoping to get him to the practice squad, Carolina takes him, and like, no disrespect to Carolina's wide receiver room, but it's not good. Like, it's not insanely deep.
It's in progress, but it's not there yet.
Exactly. And Brownlee can be a great addition to that wide receiver room. And so, like, it would suck to see him elevate that offense when we had an opportunity to do that here instead of keeping one of like, it's the Aaron Rodgers effects, right? There's a lot of positives, but then there's some negatives in there, and there's some things that might happen, which, we may not like the Billy Turners of the world, the Solomon Thomases of the world, the Randall Cobbs of the world staying on the roster when maybe there's other guys that probably deserve that spot more.
It's like Kuntz and Yeboah. What are you going to do with that? Yeboah's good on special teams, but Kuntz has all the upside, but he hasn't really been showing that. So you got to pick and choose.
Yeah, tough decisions, but better than not having tough decisions, because when you're a bad team, when we've been a bad roster, where every one of those guys would make the team and they'd be fighting for starting jobs until you were 2 and 3 jobs. And, 3 years ago, that was the case. 3 years ago, there was no doubt Brownlee was on the team. 3 years ago, we'd be jumping up and down and saying, we got our WR3. This guy Brownlee is going to be our next superstar. So, and now he's just the guy wondering if he's going to even make the team. So that we have to worry about who are we going to cut. That's not good. I see you willing to, you're waiting to say something, Nick. What's up, buddy?
No, we're a good enough team where there's roster battles, and that's what you want. It's almost like trying to project the Jets 53 is like trying to fill out an NCAA tournament bracket. You're never going to get a perfect one.
No, never.
I just think
especially this year.
There's too many close battles. There's a lot of guys who deserve to be on an NFL roster, and if it's not here. And we have guys who get picked up immediately. Like last year, we led the league in guys who got picked up. You should be proud that your coaching staff and your scouting department are finding all of this talent that other teams are horrifically missing out on. So it's not just landing 3 first-round picks and drafting JJ, Sauce, and Wilson and coming out with Hall in round 2. It's finding guys like Brownlee and all these others that – it's finding a Tony Adams. It's drafting a Sherwood and making a positional change from safety to linebacker and
MC2?
letting the kid grow, right? So the organization has a vision, and it's coming too because we have consistency in the front office and on the sidelines for the first time in a while. So the people who are talking about Saleh as a hot seat, shut the fuck up. Wait,
is that a thing?
There's people who said, it's a must win. We don't make the playoffs. He's got to be fired with the talent we have. All right, you don't know how the season plays out. Let's play one game.
Can we reach week 1 before we're trying to fire coaches?
Yeah,
I hate that.
But everybody wants the next thing. They want to be the first to jump on something, as stupid as it may sound.
This is the last thing that we should be talking about as a fan base. It's like, are you kidding me? This is our time. Like you say it, Nick. This is our time. This is when we're supposed to enjoy.
I don't flail my hands like this.
That's me. But
I'm like a Derek Jeter. I'm like the fist pump. Tiger Woods, Derek Jeter. That's what I grew up on.
If something goes horribly wrong and everything, and if it falls apart this year or something went wrong, knock on wood, then we would worry about it. But to sit there and make threats, and there are people who say JD has to go if we don't win this year.
No.
Minds. People
it's
are
different.
Minds.
It's 2 different situations. Saleh, we have to judge until the end of this year. Let's just get through this damn training camp. JD, an extension. I would sign him now. We all said about Olbrook, right? We all wanted Olbrook gone. Look what
before we won.
Yeah, exactly. Look what he's done with the defense. And now we actually have a good offensive coordinator in Hackett. I love what I'm seeing with them with Hard Knocks. I love the connection with Rodgers. We are in a very good position that we haven't had in 12 years. Let's chill.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? Go ahead, Trey. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying absolutely.
Johnny Jimenez says it perfectly. It's like people overreacting from the fact that calm down. We drafted a guy in the 2nd round, and you know what the best part is? We don't need him to start.
Yes.
Before, our 2nd round picks were gold. They were diamond, platinum. I don't know, but they had to hit. We needed them to start right now. And the New York Jets didn't do that this last year. We drafted players that we didn't need to start because we didn't need starters.
Because we're a good team.
Exactly. And that's the problem. It's been a decade of absolutely abysmal everything from the top down. And
D. Milner. Oh, God.
And so when things are going right,
Positive. Don't go there. Don't go there.
You revert back to this, oh my gosh, our second round pick isn't starting week 1, even though the guy who's been a really solid center for us for the last 3 or 4 years is here. And now we can take time to develop the kid. Look at what's going to happen to Jermaine Johnson this year after essentially having a pseudo redshirt year last year. Dude was able to sit behind the likes of Carl Lawson, JFM, and watch those guys do what they do and only got better and got a year of coaching, lined up and sitting next to Quinnen Williams, and now he's ready for a breakout year. Like, we all know that Joe Tippmann is going to be a really good football player. Like, we know that's going to happen. But we don't need him to be the end-all, be-all, franchise-saving center right now.
Yeah, I don't know if people remember this. What you're saying, Tigo, the difference between Tippmann and AVT is AVT was not that good his rookie year. The first 6-7 games, I was starting to panic. I'll admit it. I was starting to get nervous. We traded up for this guy, and he was just right. And the reality is, he had to start because we weren't the team back then that we are now. We had to start him because who else did we have? But what you're saying, Tigo, and I hear it, is we're not the same team we were when AVT was drafted.
No.
Now we actually have a center.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the difference.
We have the ability to develop players. We have the ability to put them in at a position to succeed. If everyone, I think every Jet fan, as ludicrous as some of them are, would agree.
Yeah.
Throwing Zach Wilson out there was the wrong move.
Oh, yeah.
Now, why would you want the same thing for other rookies?
One more time for the people in the back.
Yeah.
One more time.
Why would you want the same thing for other rookies? Don't throw a guy out there. He fails. Aaron Rodgers gets crushed like Mike White did last year in the Buffalo game.
Yes.
Wait till he's ready to play. Hello? You wait to play the game.
And even if they're ready, like, still, you don't need to rush anything. It's the Breece Hall thing, right?
Yes.
Dude, I don't care if he thinks he's at 95%. I don't care if he thinks he's ready to go. I don't need Breece Hall for weeks 1 through 7. Because I think we have a week 8 bye week, right? Or is it a week 7 bye week? Whatever. I don't need him for the first 8 weeks. I need him for the back 14 weeks. Those are the weeks that I need.
Turn down when they get all angry.
Like,
you're welcome.
It's like Carl Lawson. You got to protect him with his injury, and he was one of our most consistent players last year.
You got to protect the entity from the entity.
You got to protect the players from themselves. They want to be out there. Like, it's one of those things. Like, the only example I can give is like when I was in the Navy. Dude, I used to have to you're sitting in bed all day. I was a medic in the Navy, and I used to have to tell Marines, like, no, like, you're not going to PT. I don't care that you'll just take some painkillers and you'll power through. No, like, I'm forcing you to stay in bed. You got to protect the person from themselves, because no matter what, they want to be out there with their brothers. And the same thing would have happened to me. Dude, I broke my foot and I was trying out there to go and run and do all of those things. And I had to have a different guy to be like, no, like, go sit your ass in bed for a week or two. You're not allowed to do anything. So it's just like, again, protect the players from themselves. And the whole idea is I don't need these players healthy for the first 7 weeks. I need these players healthy for the back 14, 13 weeks, depending on if we get a 1 seed or if we go through a wild card game, because it's about playing in February, not about playing in September.
It's like Rucker. Rucker, we sat him down redshirt year. Now they're talking that he could be RB2 later this year. JJ, we didn't play him that much, and now he's looking to maybe even be a starter eventually. You got to take that time. Wilson, they fucked up the Wilson QB situation. They always have. And now that we're finally have Rodgers in here, I don't think it's going to happen anymore. And I like that. All the draft picks that we do, we've always rushed the process. And finally, we have a coaching staff that will not rush it. I like it. I love it.
It's competence. It's something we're not used to seeing.
Nope. We have adults in the
Sorry to Kuka. I see your comments. Very very good there.
I will say this regarding, because you brought it up, Nick, and I don't want us to leave this totally in the past before getting there. But one of the things that, like you mentioned, is obviously like way back when is like good teams cut good players to just wrap it up really interesting. And we're a good team. We have good players and we're going to have to cut some good players. Yeah. The one thing that benefits the New York Jets this year, amongst all of the other NFL teams, is that there is no progressive cut down days. So it's not like you're exposing 8 guys and then 12 guys and then 20 guys. No. Like everybody is cutting 37 guys all on the same day, which makes the job for the scouting staffs and the rest of the NFL much, much harder, because now it's not a matter of like, oh, I have to go and evaluate, let's say 600 guys and put our waiver claims on whoever these teams are cutting. It's like, no, like there's like 2,200 guys that are about to lose their jobs all at the same time. And we need to be able to go through, all 22 of them, 2,200 of them. I'm sorry, it's 1,200, not 2,200. We need to be able to go through all 1,200 of them and find out who we want. So the likelihood of guys slipping through is much higher this year than in previous years. But that's still one of those things of we're going to be exposing good players. I
think you see some teams take the opportunity to maybe start to trim down without the mandatory trim down, because if you just know a guy's not making your roster, why are you going to give him reps when you got 4 guys at a position? For one, C and D aren't going to make it. It's between A and B. I would dump C and D early and give A and B all the reps. Like, why am I wasting reps on guys who aren't going to make my 53 if they can't even make my 75? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, gamesmanship.
You might not want them getting hurt in preseason, though, like in the preseason games.
Yep. Yeah, but those guys are guys who are bottom of the roster, and I don't say this to be like cruel or rude about it. I'd rather the guys who have a chance of making the team play and get those reps, rather than a guy I know I'm cutting. Why am I going to give him those reps in practice or in a game?
Yeah, it's all gamesmanship. It doesn't matter about giving them reps. It's about being able to dump 37 guys all at once.
Yeah.
It's not your money, right? So like you can pay that guy for the extra week, and those reps that they're getting with Tim Boyle doesn't matter all that much, because if those players are on the roster bubble, they're going to be getting reps with the 2s and the 1s already. So let them be on the third team practice field, putting out tape and hopefully trying to get picked up by another team, just so that you can have a massive dump of players. Getting rid of guys early is one of those things of, oh, it's just me being a nice human about it. If I know, why don't I just let them go early? Because that's you taking your, I'm a nice person and I want to do nice things about it mentality on it. No, this is a business and it's cutthroat, and I'm going to hold on to every player that I can for as long as I can so that I can dump 37 guys all at the same time, making it much harder for other teams to poach my guys because I got 17 practice squad spots to fill up.
Hey, I'll be right back in. I got to say goodnight to Nick. He's got football early in the morning.
Say goodnight to the kid.
Tell him good luck.
And also I gotta go. Tigo, great seeing you, man.
Have a good one.
Jeremy, appreciate you, dude.
Italy, thanks for being on, brother.
No problem. Nick, if you're seeing this, andiamo. Tigo, I'll see you this weekend.
Yep.
Tottenham, baby. Tottenham, West Ham.
Yes.
Good night to the chat. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Peace.
Go Liverpool.
Later, buddy. You go.
Oh, that's the worst answer you could have given. No, you could have said Arsenal. That would have been worse.
Yeah. It's not my friend. It's not my fault. My friend got me into Liverpool in like 2008. So I've been around. Not that I watch them that often, but sometimes
if it's on,
sometimes on a Sunday morning when it's on, I'll watch it. So
the midweek games are the are the key for me. Like a Tuesday game in the afternoon, because I'm a stay-at-home dad and a full-time student, so I can catch those games. So being able to be just like, hey, you know what? It's a Wednesday match day. Let's put on some soccer on the TV and hang out with the kid. That's always fun.
No, that's cool. So you put Mickey to bed?
Yeah, he's got to be at the school by 6:30. Oof. Or on the field by 6:30 for football, 6 days a week in August, Monday through Saturday.
Oh, they're doing 2-a-days.
No,
they're not there yet. Oh,
they don't do 2-a-days anymore.
Wait, is that a thing? Not? Oh man, I remember 2-a-days.
They get out there at 6:45 to 9:45, 2 hours on the field, and then either an hour in the weight room or an hour in the class.
I remember 2-a-days. Those were
they don't seem to like practice doesn't seem to be as hard as I remember it being when I was a kid. And I'm talking about even the NFL, like the hours that they do. When I was a kid, there was this whole thing about Hell Week, and they would go to a camp, like you'd leave Brooklyn, like the high school kids, they'd go up upstate New York, and it would be like 2-a-days, and it was like
back when men were men.
Before we had the Guardian caps,
back before the pussification of America.
Before Stacker 2 killed Corey Stringer.
No, but that's
that was when 2-a-days stopped.
Yep.
Corey Stringer was taking Stacker 2 to lose weight, got dehydrated, and died.
Oh my God.
Minnesota Vikings. And all of a sudden, after that, the next negotiation, it was no more 2-a-days.
Oh, they changed
it. I'm not joking. Like, that literally was
you were absolutely right.
Argument. We lost the guy on the field in the heat. We're not doing 2-a-days anymore.
See, my solution would have been air conditioning indoor practice.
You figure with the value of every NFL team that came out.
Did you see the Jets 6.1 billion?
6.11. They were 5th or 6th. But Dallas is 9.2. They're the highest. And then it's like the lowest was the Bengals at $4 billion.
It's insane.
Wow.
So like everyone should have a facility with indoors, right? Like, and you should be able to have the 2-a-days because the days of outdoors and going to a college and staying in a dorm are over.
Yeah.
But there's Jets at 99 Park Ave. They showed ABT. He lives in the area, but he checked into Park Ave. That's where Rodgers lives. Quinnen lives there. Sauce lives there, or he did. That's where they put these guys up. You go up to 99 Park Ave. You could walk right through the lobby, go sit out by the pool, and hang out with the Jets in the afternoon.
That's pretty freaking cool to know. Now, because of this show, we're going to have
I'm just jealous of the walking part.
I used to work in a high school that was right around the corner from during Linsanity with Jeremy Lin during that whole time with the Linsanity.
Yeah, I believe had a stomach bug that whole 2.5 weeks.
He was some rich guy. He was staying with his brother, and then some rich guy gave him his condo in his fancy building. And it was like around the corner from my school. So all the kids used to go over there and see if they could see him going in and out of the building. So it's funny how we do that, just so we can get a look at somebody.
Yeah, I got to what was that? I got to tell you guys a funny little story yesterday. I'm at the hospital. And I'm sitting there in my wheelchair waiting to get picked up.
Funny. You were in a wheelchair. That's funny. Yeah, Chico. So, that's not the whole story?
That's not. This boy. Motherfucker. So I'm sitting there waiting after my wound care for transportation to pick me up. And I see a guy walking in, and he's got a blue and orange hat on. And the way it was written, I couldn't tell with the angle if it was Bears or Broncos. And then when he passes me, I see the Bronco thing on the side. I go, "Hey, you tell Sean Payton he needs to calm the fuck down." And the guy didn't get it first. And I say it again. And he turns around and he looks at me and he's like, oh man, because I had obviously had a jet hat on. He's like, "Oh man, I agree. You're not a team that I want to piss off." And I was like, "Enjoy your day, sir." I'm like, "Okay, good. You gave me respect coming back." I'm like, "All right." Now I pipe down as I'm sitting here with my wheelchair, holding my 2 crutches, looking like an angry old pirate.
So, Sean, because I'm probably not going to be down in Temecula for a game because I'm usually doing the watch parties with Green Bean, but I'll be in Temecula at some point because I got a really good friend down there. Like I've told you, I have a really good friend down there in Temecula. And at some point, me and my wife will go down. We're going to bring the puppies and because he's a dog-friendly house. So I will let you know because we'll definitely get together for drinks when that happens. My friend has literally a bar. He has a second mother-in-law house, but he converted it to a movie theater bar.
It's an inappropriate discussion.
We'll
it's an inappropriate discussion. This is crossing a line.
It's an inappropriate discussion. You could drink grenadine and ginger ale or seltzer, but
bro, just join me in the corner. We can be sipping on Sprite all night. Me and you.
Oh, you don't drink either?
Can't got the liver thing.
Oh, well, we are buddies.
And
I've been drinking 4 years.
And I'm not someone that finds any like I'm not the kind of person that like I have to have a drink. Like that's not who I am. Like if I'm with people who don't drink, I don't give a shit. I don't drink.
You know? You're more choking and panicking. Like I didn't chew this hoagie the right way. Somebody get me a beverage.
Yeah, I'm more about give me a Coca-Cola or something sweet to wash down the pizza or hoagie or cheesesteak that I'm gobbling down. I'm a food guy. Everybody else goes to the party and runs to the bar. I'm running for the freaking buffet table and seeing what do we got for eating, So, but that's just simply the truth.
Well done. This comment's well done. The guy just like left me alone because I was crippled that he felt bad. What a dick. What a dick comment. Don't make me get angry again.
Played.
I don't want you getting too turned on.
I will definitely let you know.
9 toes, no livers, and a big eater. Exciting group here. It's like Russian roulette. Hey, which one of us is going to go first?
Nick lacks for in toe. I make up in nose. Okay.
If they had to use your nose for my toe, I would go from a size 13 to a size 18 sneaker.
Yeah. And Tico might not have much of a liver, but he has a hell of a mouth. So.
Yeah.
Hey now.
It's like, I don't mean like that.
Is that what she said? He said, "Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. There's some innuendo in there somewhere.
Somebody said it, and
it's in someone's endo. I don't know.
I mean, Tigo, good for you.
I guess.
Congratulations. Right? I always think that Tigo is the wrestling manager, Jimmy Hart. What was his name? The megaphone.
I got a crazy Jimmy Hart. I got a crazy Jimmy Hart thing for those who are wrestling fans. I found this out this week at my nephew's house. We watched WWE on Peacock, and when you go into the Peacock, I look for the shows, and there's a show called This Is Awesome. And season 1, episode 2 is the best entrance music ever. And they interview people, the former wrestlers, current wrestlers, fans, and they talk about it. And Jimmy Hart comes on during the Shawn Michaels part and says, "That's me" in the lyrics. And they're like, "Which part?" He's like, "Well, the day we were taping it, we didn't have anyone to do it. So they pitched it like 5 different times, sent it to Reverb, and that's me going in the background, that high-pitched voice in the Shawn Michaels, sexy boy, is Jimmy Hart.
That's hysterical.
I just found that out this weekend. 44 years on this earth. Shawn Michaels has been Shawn Michaels since 94, almost 30 years. And I just found out Jimmy Hart is singing on the Shawn Michaels entrance music.
Well, didn't Jimmy Hart have a song in the WWE album years ago?
Oh, they all had them.
Wasn't he the one that sang "Eat Your Heart Out," Rick Springfield? Because she's my girl, and that was Jimmy Hart. So he sung a track. So that's funny.
Those were the days back when they did the concert. You Google Vince McMahon single and Vince McMahon dancing music video. Oh, it's one of the most cringiest but greatest, like 3.5 minutes of your life. He's in a tuxedo with a vest but no jacket, like dancing around like Vince McMahon, like trying to be. He's like creating the Vince McMahon character.
Oh my god!
Oh, it's pretty good.
I like the.
Not that I want anyone to change the channel from us here on YouTube.
Oh, so we got Bradigan here. We got Salty.
Who?
Bradigan.
Thank you. I hold you to a high standard. You have to.
And we got Salty here too. Salty McNulty in the house. So that's all good.
And where's Sean McAteer? And what's his name? You're off today with these. You usually introduce everybody.
Sean McAteer is one of the 3 McAteers, one of the defenders of Temecula. Whether somebody wants trouble or is simply out of line in Temecula, you have to deal with one of the McAteers.
There you go.
So
Yeah. Whenever. Oh, Nick is a big old school wrestling fan, Yeti. Nick is a big. You go back to before 2008. I can hold my weight with anybody talking conversation about wrestling. 100%.
Oh, this is good.
Oh,
I don't retweet anyone.
I don't.
No,
I barely tweet to be able enough to retweet. I'm sorry, you don't retweet. It's repost now.
There's a Jets.
Yeah, it's a post, right? They changed that in the.
It's repost.
Feed.
There's a content provider it's a guy that does like the Bears or something. And once I talked to him, we had a nice conversation online. And for a year, he sends me in my messenger. He DMs me his promotions and says retweet. And I started doing it for him. Like every time he did it, I would just say, I don't give a shit. I'd click on it and I'd retweet it, right? And then after like 3 or 4 months, I said, this motherfucker never says thank you. Like there's no appreciation. There's no that. And he doesn't say, can you please retweet? He just sends me a DM, said retweet. And I'm like, fuck you.
I don't know why you did it in the first place.
Yeah. It's just like, what am I doing? Like, it's like, at least say thank you. I'm a nice guy. I'm not going to say no. But I'm like, geez, man, what the hell? I'm like, this guy, I don't even know. I talked to him once. What?
Something I said on Twitter about this whole situation was, if you're going to have a guest on and you're going to invite someone who's big and successful on, right? Like I made the joke to Buffalo in our chat, like, Buffalo, next time you're on my show, if you don't retweet it, just know I'm going to burn our friendship to the ground. And we had a good run for like 1.5 years. Thanks, pal. Like you have someone on because A, you respect their football opinion. You think they'd be good for discussion. I'm sure as someone who is down low on the totem pole and Jets content creators and followers, you hope it builds your channel and you hope you get that exposure. But you got to be dumb as a rock to go and attack somebody, especially the biggest, most popular Jet content creator.
Has he passed Ian?
And kudos to Jake for flaming him the way they did and allowing him to pop on the show and having the patience and the wherewithal to then know that they're paying attention and losing their minds. That was like the slow kill. That's the sniper who sits out there for no food and no drink for days, waiting for you to put your head through the window and then takes the shot and hits. That was Jake Asman. Hats off to him, man. A lot of respect for him and how he handled that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
There's so many people who do things for selfish reasons instead of just enjoying the content. I do this because I love talking about my team. I love talking with my friends. I love talking football. I've said it to you guys before. I would come on a video. It was better than being on a phone or in a DM chat and just discuss things with you guys with nobody watching. The fact that we get to entertain other people and they can entertain us with the chat is a big bonus of it for me. But like, I would never have somebody on and then use them for and let them know that like you're using them. Like,
but Nick, I think you said it perfectly. Is that these guys know that their brand of content does not fit the brand of content that you would consider mainstream
quality,
not quality, but mainstream Jets content creators. Because whether or not you want to believe it or whatever, right? All of the bigger names, all the way down to the smallest channel or whatever, generally we tend to be relatively aligned with overall vision of what we're talking about with the Jets. Now, we may have some disagreements, like me having an absolutely crazy take that Nick Bawden is the 12th best Jet because I forgot to move him on my rankings list, or all of you people being anti-Max Mitchell. And like, we all have those things, but like, we generally are aligned. And those guys who shall not be named, because I'm not going to give them free publicity, but like, those guys are very they were anti-Quinnen Williams, which made no sense. And they were anti Aaron Rodgers, and they're still anti Aaron Rodgers, and they're just anti-Jets as Jets fans.
I don't mind people's takes are different than mine. People who don't
me neither
agree with me right now. I mean, so that part's whatever. I mean, it's like, okay, different side, different angle. I'm sure, and it might serve an audience, because there is an audience for that stuff. I'm sure Modine loves that stuff. But the thing for me is, if I'm going to call someone an asshole, I'm going to say, or if I'm going to say, fuck this person, right? It's going to be someone, not because, like, if someone comes onto my show and does my show, especially if they're 10 times bigger than me, I'm going to be really happy about that. And
that's impossible with the way you eat.
I'm going to be really grateful. But the thing is, if I'm going to go after someone, I'm going to go after someone for the right reason. Like fuck Matt O'Leary, right?
And now someone's gonna chop that up, and that's gonna be a viral thing.
Matt O'Leary beef. Matt O'Leary's.
Say it again. Say it again.
Matt O'Leary's not an asshole because he didn't.
This is co-host on Pride and Chaos, Mr. Nicholas Shine.
Because he's an asshole. Okay.
This is co-host Pride of the Pride and Chaos show. I just want to know that the words that Chaos is speaking has nothing to do and does not represent Pride in any way, shape, or form. That's a new disclaimer. I got to do disclaimers for you. But Dom says it. Dom, the key word in that sentence:
friends.
And because me and Dom have been texting, not DMing, texting for like a year now. Like,
yeah, we have phone conversations.
Everything to call me when I thought I had cancer. There's a difference, right? It's like I checked up on Ryan today because he's my friend. We've been texting, but again, it's all about I will give some respect to those guys because I saw exactly what they were doing from the beginning.
Yeah,
it was plain as day.
They went at Dom a while ago. Do you remember? And I was like, I got time, Dom. I'll jump in on this. And I went in on them for a while.
But it's a matter of they knew that they could create beef with Jake and that Jake would bite on it, right? So they started something, and whether or not it's warranted, they gained subscribers.
They gained one. They gained one.
If you go back, they've gained a couple more. But they've gained attention, followers, and subscribers probably because of this beef.
They're at 602. They were 601 3 days ago. They actually went down to 600 and then up to 602.
Oh, then they did it wrong.
I'm fightful like that. I monitor that shit.
See, then they did it wrong.
Because I'm like, wait a minute. Does this work?
You know what? Do you know why I don't worry about it? Like these kind of things, because I think Nick, you got mad because I didn't say anything bad about these guys, and it's funny because all I did was I put out a tweet that said number of times I asked somebody to retweet my stuff 0. Basically I said number of times I've attacked someone for not retweeting me 0, and I didn't mention anyone. I didn't attack anyone. I said everything I wrote was precisely true. I was just writing some facts about me. And
minus the part you've attacked me like 7 times in this show.
Minus the part where I've attacked Nick. But
are we really calling Nick a Jets content creator? Got him.
The reaction to me in my tweet was someone actually told me, like the person responded and said, "You are attacking someone right now." Really? I didn't mention anybody. All I said was something true about me. Like, how can you say I'm attacking someone? I didn't say their name. I didn't say anything about them. I didn't even judge them. I just simply said, this is something I never do these things. So Nick went nuts when they responded to that. But that was the funny thing is and then the other thing I asked was, I said, what is so wrong about someone not retweeting you? If they came on your show, aren't you happy about that? And again, they got offended. They made it the big subject of their talk. But why? Like, why can't you have a discussion? Because I didn't attack them. I didn't say you guys are assholes, blah, 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 blah. I literally said, why? Like, why are you mad at him? He came on your show. He's never been on this channel. Jake Asman has never been on this channel. I would love for him to be on this channel. And I'm being serious. I would never, ever, if he came on to my show, if he came on to the channel, I'd be so grateful. And if he didn't retweet, if I said to him, say, hey, can you advertise it? And he didn't do it, I'm not going to go on and be upset with him. I'm still going to be happy with what he gave me. He came on my channel. It's like, thank you. You know what I mean? He's on top of the mountain.
Yeah. And here's where I really disagree. And like Tigo said, it's not worth saying their names, so we'll talk in code. It's not your guest's job to build your channel.
Nope.
It's yours.
Preach! I hope they're watching.
It's not your guest's job to get you subscribers. You want to provide content. You want to put out good clips. You want to put out good conversation. You want to put up thought-provoking stuff. Do it. Being scumbags isn't going to build your channel.
Right, but getting those guests is part of the creating good content. Me going
Absolutely.
out and getting Tigo.
Because it shows that you're credible, right? Like maybe Jake didn't know about them and it was like, all right, I don't know what these guys are about. They sent me a DM. It sounded cool. I went on. And now you see what people are really about. Like, you know, adverse moments show people what your real, true character is. And it shows that certain people are just out to use people for their own growth and their own benefit and have no problem being the biggest asshole in the room when they don't get what they want. But if you do things out of the kindness of your heart, like I'm not kissing your ass, I get nothing out of this friendship with you, Jeremy, but you do a lot of good things out of the kindness of your heart. You expect nothing in return. You treat people well and just ask to be treated well in return. I feel gross talking that nicely about you. I don't usually do that. I feel like Jim Carrey, where he's like in the shower crying, and Ace Ventura after he figures out Einhorn is Finkel. But when you do things the right way, good things will happen to you. And when you do something like this, and you're trying to carve out your niche, we're past dozens. There's hundreds of Jet content creators, right? Like you're trying to find your niche. You're trying to find where you can be different from what everyone else does. Being the asshole, being the antagonist, being the disrespectful person, I can't see. There's a lot of Jets fans with awful takes, but I don't see a lot of awful people. You know what I mean? And you're hoping that, like Triple H outside of WCW with the war, but WWF at the time was a credible entity. You can be that antagonist when you're good. You can be that antagonist when you're near the top.
It's called being a heel.
Exactly. But you can be the heel in content creator world and still be respectful to people. You can take the crazy take. You can take things like that. I don't know, man. It seems like really, really awful.
I mean, look, the way I see it is I'm not worried about it. Like I used to, I would like someone said, oh, now you said something. And now look, they're talking about you. Like somebody was sending me texts. Look what they're doing. They're talking about you on Twitter now. They have your thing posted. And I said, okay, one, there's nothing they could show that I put in text that's disrespectful to them. So the only people that they're going to convince I did anything wrong are people who want to believe that I did something wrong and weren't going to respect or like me anyway. Because there's nothing they could show them I did that was disrespectful. I didn't attack anybody. I didn't name them. I didn't do anything negative or anything to hurt them at all. I gave my opinion about something, or actually I asked more of a question to them because it's shocking to me that somebody would go out and do that, because I would be so happy. Like I said, if Ryan came on a Sunday to this channel about a month ago, do you think I expect Ryan to go and promote it? Like I'm thrilled that Ryan came on. It made the show better. It made the channel better. 2 weeks ago, Buffalo came on. It makes the show better. Tigo jumped on now because he had some information. He had something to say to make the channel better. And
that part's debatable. Now we're even, Tigo.
Well done. And he's willing to do it. But I'm not saying, hey, Tigo, I let you on my channel. No, go send this out to everybody. I'm trying to create good content, and I'm doing the things I think are smart things to do to create the good content. So the thing
you're telling me everything I printed out to send to Tigo, the papers and the staple gun with the picture of your head, and have you seen this man with the QR code to put all over Florida was a waste of time?
Waste of time. But as Knobcraft, for what you're saying, I want you to understand. I appreciate that, Knobcraft. But what Knobcraft's text tells me, what I just highlighted this for one reason, or the main reason I highlighted this was because this is the whole point. They can't hurt me because the only people I care about are the people like Knobcraft, people who would never turn on me for something like that. You know what I mean? Like Jets Mess, Chris Bradigan, Cy Thompson. None of these guys, Dano, are going to be mad at me or upset at me because of what I said, or because these guys are attacking me, right? So, yeah, I want the channel to grow and everything, but are these guys going to bury me? Are they going to stop me from growing? I mean, are they going to stop the people who are really there for me, the people that really support the channel from supporting the channel? It's like they have to understand attacking people is not going to do anything for you. Like, what are you going to get out of attacking people?
You want to attack somebody, you attack somebody like me, like someone who's trying to build, and you try to steal from. I mean, what did you think? You were going to go at Jake Asman and 16,000 of his followers were going to jump on your YouTube channel and say, thanks for degrading somebody that I followed for 7 years? Like, what the?
Yeah, you're just going to punch up, and those guys are going to be like, yeah, fuck this guy too, I guess. Just subscribe to him for 2 years.
Let's use the new reference, right? Asman was the eagle, took the crow up to a height that they couldn't fly, and then dropped them flat.
Right, and you can't blame us. You can't any of the jet providers now, any of the people, right? You can't go on. You can't do what you did to Jake, and then not understand that we're all gonna back off.
Yeah,
because it's like
you're the poison pill, right?
The most respected Jets. He's one of the most respected people in the
second biggest Jets content creator behind only Ian the OG. Like that's it. He's at 32,000 subs. Nah, Ian is at 34.
But the bottom line is you know, as content providers, I don't know, those guys inspire me. Like I see Jake Asman and what he's done. I see Ian and what he's done. It's inspiring. It's like, look what they did. It's something to shoot for. How could I do that? Like, you know, it's like I look up to them because they made it happen. They did it. They found a way to like reach all these people, you know, and have this audience.
Yeah.
So
enough time in the gutter, right?
I just don't understand what their play is or why they.
I don't either.
No, it's funny because like all of this stuff is like how it's funny that their reaction to this too was like, wait, why are you guys all attacking us? Yeah. Which is hilarious. Or like with your situation, victim, Jeremy, right? Yeah, or like your situation, Jeremy, where like you just tweeted something out, you didn't add anybody, you just put it out there on Jets Twitter, and then getting attacked. It's the same thing that happened. Like I posted a video recapping today's practice, and I got yelled at by Carolina Panthers fans for having the audacity on a Jets YouTube channel to cover the Jets positively. How dare I? Wearing a Jets shirt with a really bad drawn sign that says "Let's go Jets," green lightsabers, a pennant.
That's
on
what that
channel?
is?
What this?
I thought that was like the daily lunch specials.
Nope, it says "Let's go Jets." I drew that by hand. It is horrible, and it's been on there so long I can't wipe it off.
They wanted you to talk about Brian Burns.
Here's the funny part. I mentioned Brian Burns, and I gave the Carolina Panthers a compliment. I said Brian Burns absolutely torched the Jets, and that's something that we need to work on. But the New York Jets defense also But I had the audacity of not bringing up Bryce Young because I'm supposed to care about a 3 foot, 15-pound quarterback. But like, I didn't talk about the Carolina Panthers positively, or let me correct that. I didn't talk about the Carolina Panthers all that much. I said how they impacted the Jets, and that's it, on a Jets channel, and I got crucified. Like an 11 comment chain of like 6 different, all just, how dare he? He doesn't know anything about the Carolina Panthers. I was like, yeah, no, I don't. That's why I don't cover the Panthers. This is a Jets channel. What are you doing?
Well, they don't have the content provider community that we do, so maybe they just don't understand it, and they're treating you just like, I mean, even though I'm saying they're treating you like a guy who just talks about the NFL, but the name of your fucking channel is Tigo Talking Jets.
It's just I was wearing this shirt. It's very clear. It says Jets on it. If you don't get it from the channel name, maybe the pennant, the green lights, the shirt. I think I was even wearing my Jets hat. Like, there's so many giveaways, and you came expecting me to talk about the Panthers, and not even like the Florida Panthers, which would make a little bit of sense because I live in Florida. The Carolina Panthers. Come on, man.
Dano, thank you so much for the super chat. Imagine Jake yelling at Revis for not retweeting that day.
For real.
I mean, the same thing with Sack getting Asante.
I mean, Revis retweeted me once, so I'm feeling pretty good here.
I got a like.
Yeah,
I got a Breesball like, and I got a Darrelle Revis retweet in the last couple months.
I got Ryan Leaf to reply to me directly.
You did.
Yeah,
that one was impressive.
Yeah. When he did the wow, and he actually made me feel bad for him. And I said, "I'm glad you weren't." I'm saying, "I'm sorry that you had to take all those, those injuries or whatever."
Hey, take care, Dane. Thanks for the chat, man. Thanks for the super chat, buddy.
Take care, Dane. Thank you for the super chat.
Have a good one, Dano.
But yeah. So anyway, I mean, look, it was interesting. It was interesting.
It's wild. Like you never know what you're going to wake up to on Jet Twitter. Like what's going to be the next thing. It's a daily saga.
No, for me, it's always about I have a really hard time like going to sleep at night, so I stay up late or whatever, and I'm up with the kid at like 6 or 7 in the morning every morning. So when the kid goes down for a nap, I take a nap with him, right at the same time.
Oh, that's Dad 101.
Oh, absolutely. But it's the scariest thing for me because like I put my phone on silent and I put it down and I wake up and like you always like one of the things that I try to pride myself on my channel is having the breaking news as quickly as possible. So I always get worried that like I'm going to see like 17 Twitter notifications and it's like the Dalvin Cook signing and I'm like an hour late. And it's like, okay, you're an hour late. Who gives a crap? But like, this is my channel. I want to be the breaking news guy. I like being the breaking news guy. I have the opportunity and the ability to be the breaking news guy. I want to do it, right? There's a whole hashtag on my channel called #BeatIan because of how quickly he uploads his videos. But that's besides the point. So like today I woke up and the chat went off, like our DM group went off. And I was just like, oh, Dalvin Cook signed. I was like, Dalvin Cook signed. Somebody's hurt. Oh my gosh. And I open up X and look at all the DMs or whatever. And I'm like, they're just shooting the breeze because Brian Burns is legit. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
It's like Dom projected 53 and 700 texts. There's times I'm laying there like sleeping and it's early and I hear ding, 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 ding. I'm like, what the fuck? Ooh, maybe something happened. Like my brain kicks in after like a second and a half. Like I gotta check this. I I fell asleep, my contacts in. I'm trying to put drops in my eyes so I can read.
You're just like, who is it? What happened?
Oh my God! So anyway,
real quick, story. I see Chris and Bradigan and John talking in the chat, man. God bless, man. Whoever's going through that, I'm catching a little bit of it in the chat. Someone's not doing well, and God bless, man. I hope whoever is sick is going to be better soon.
Yeah, whoever's sick. Yeah, man, we have too many of us having all these issues. I mean, there's too much sick going around. So that's why we got to stay together, guys.
Lots of love your way, man.
Yeah, I hope everyone's okay. But yeah. So you see, that's the thing. There are people that, we're going through like with our group of friends, like some real issues, real medical things, scares where we were really upset and scared. And then we got this crap going on Twitter, and that's the thing called perspective, and like, how are you going to live your life? Who are you going to be mad at? Who are you going to fight with? What are you going to do? Like, how much time are you going to spend on this and that when we got, I'm sure everybody got shit like that going on in their lives. It's like, please, people, perspective. You know what I mean? There's bigger things to gripe about than, tweeting and retweeting, and I don't know. It's kind of crazy. So it doesn't.
I call that 10-toe people stuff.
Yeah. That's
stuff that you 10-toers worry about.
Nine toers never worry about the.
Yeah, I'm worried about things like infection and losing more of my lymph. And you guys are like, who retweeted my show?
Oh man, but
10-toe world, man. You first worlders.
Nah, but I was saying it more like, I hope they read it and think maybe he's right. And I think that's what everyone's so shocked about it too. It's like, look, everybody gets impulsive, emotional, and makes mistakes. But when everybody says it to you, like, dude, he went on your show, and the purpose of that is not to fight with you. The purpose is just say, yeah, yo, that wasn't cool what I did to Jake Osmond. He came on our show. I was just venting because I was a little frustrated about that other thing. But yeah, at the grand scheme of things, we owe him a great deal of gratitude for coming on the show. And that's it. And everybody will drop it. But instead, now you're going to fight everybody on it. It doesn't make any sense.
He's working for 98.7 ESPN. He's got 32,000 followers. And he took the time out of his day and life to come on your show. Which
say it right, shitty show.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're attacking, don't
Is that constitute an attack?
Well, you didn't say their name at least, but
No, he's just giving his opinion.
Hey, it's
on
my opinion. Look. I also think I have a shitty show.
Well, not for you, but I think we all think we have shitty shows because I think I say it all the time. I'm saying, why the hell do I have any followers? Why are people like when we get a lot of people watching? I'm always like, why are they watching?
I mean, you were growing really quick when you were eating during every episode. I think that was your niche. People pay to see you eat.
I think I got to bring back the food and the eating.
I think also you got to get out of the dungeon. Like, why are you in the dark, menacing over? Like, is there a corpse in the back?
You really,
what's happening, man?
You really look like you were on the sideline of the Hall of Fame game the other night.
Guys, is this your darkness retreat?
Guys, come on! I could invest $1 million in a studio. I'm not going to change the fact.
Yeah. I actually prefer you completely in the darkness. You look much better.
I can't tell my wife and lie to her and say, "Yeah, I need to spend more of our money on supplies and equipment and studio stuff," and deny that the problem is me. So,
yeah, honey, I want to get more lights so people could see my face clearer. She's going to do one of these. Really? And you want the channel to succeed?
I'm just happy that I seem to have some people brainwashed. I don't know.
In closing, before I know we're probably going to get out of here in a few minutes. I love the chemistry of our team. Like I'm enjoying talking with you guys in Italy before and the guys in the chat, but like there's a void in like my sports heart tonight that I don't have more Jets content on after we had it the last 2 nights. Like how awesome is it that we have the Jets show on Monday, we have Hard Knocks on Tuesday. I keep saying it. I think this is going to be the year we've all been waiting for. So I'm about as much content and as much information and as many conversations I can have with friends and the subscribers about our team. Like I just put on Facebook last night. I watched it. It wasn't even 10:55 yet. I was like, I love my team. That's it. Simple. Anyone who watched that last night, even the biggest Jets haters in the world, had to say to themselves, maybe they never say it out loud or in text where it can be screen captured. Like, oh, they got a likable team. They got likable people. Of course, there's people who are always going to attack and always be negative, but I think the neutral fan who's not on Twitter, not trolling, not trying to take jabs at Sauce and other things, I think the average NFL fan watched that last night and went, This is not what I expected from these guys. This is not what I've heard about Aaron Rodgers. The coach is likable. The quarterback's likable. Sauce is likable. Quinnen Williams might be the most likable human being on the planet. Like, I don't say this in a rude way, but it's like he's a simple, down-to-earth guy. Like, he values, like, the little, like, simple pleasures in life. Like, he doesn't seem bigger. Like, you just sign a $100 million contract. You could turn into an asshole. I would turn into an asshole after a $100 million contract. But you look at a lot of the players that we have, and it's everything that Joe said. We're going to get good quality people who love the game of football and want to do everything that they can to get better individually and as a team. And that's all you can ask for as a fan. That chance that you get enough of those guys together and you go and win 1 or 3 in a row. Either one. Yeah, I'll take either. So when looking at our team, I think we got to really, and I'm not plugging my channel when I say this. I knew it one day when I made this group in 2019 with Jimmy Jardine that I wanted to have a team that we could be proud of. And I made this group the same 3 weeks before Joe Douglas was hired as general manager. I would love a chocolate coochie board, or what do you call it?
A charcuterie board. Not a chocolate coochie board. That's a different thing entirely.
Hey, you don't judge me. I like what I like.
Oh man.
So when you look at at the structure of this team and the players that we have.
Looks like practice tomorrow. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, like Mekhi Becton's weight has been the biggest concern, or his knee. We don't have guys getting off the field. We don't have guys DUIs. We don't have guys embarrassing themselves. We don't have guys getting arrested at 2:30 in the morning. We don't have guys getting in fights in bars in Vegas during the 6 weeks off. We got guys who are just grinding and trying to get better and want to make this team and want to make their niche in the NFL. And I think it's a team we can finally be proud of. And hopefully we can be as proud of them on the field as I am of them off the field.
Yep.
So that's my little rant there, unsolicited, provoking the love of our team. But that's where I'm at.
I'll say this. I got emotional yesterday watching the Hard Knocks thing, not because of anything like, oh my gosh, I'm so in love with the Jets. Like, no, I am. Like, I love the Jets. They're my football team. But I remembered the last time I watched Hard Knocks was in 2010.
Me too.
And it was with my dad. And we sat there every night. And it was the only night throughout the week that I was able to stay up late. And we would watch it together. And then I would go to school the next day. And this is back when I lived in Jersey. And you'd go to school the next day wearing your jersey. I was still rocking the Chad Pennington 10s, and all of that stuff. And I remembered those moments. And I got emotional because, obviously, I'm sitting here watching my kid because he's asleep right on the monitor and thinking about the fact that in a couple of years from now, in 7-8 years, I'm going to be able to watch the Hall of Fame induction of Aaron Rodgers, right? When he goes in there and have him have 1 Green Bay Packers Super Bowl and then 2 Jets Super Bowl rings on.
And we take over Canton.
But then be able to look at my kids and be like, that was our quarterback. And sit there and watch Hard Knocks with them. And I get emotional whenever it comes to the things with my kids, but it's just I shared those moments with my dad watching the Rex Ryan and Sanchez and all of those things and being, young and being like, oh my God, he cursed, and all of that stuff. I was 15. I wasn't actually acting like that, but it was you know what I mean? It was one
that's
of
how
those
you sounded.
things.
I'm
exactly talking. Yeah, I sounded like that, but I'm not going to talk about that. But it's a cool thing to be able to think about that in the future. And it's just it reminded me yesterday that we need to remember as Jets fans to live in the moment. Let's not worry about February and January. We'll get there. Enjoy this while we can, because it's not every day. It's not every decade. It's not every century that you get a Hall of Fame quarterback. The last Hall of Fame quarterback won us the Super Bowl, and that was 80 years ago. You don't get one. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing to be able to watch a guy that we all know is going to the Hall be your quarterback. So just sit back and enjoy it, because that's all we can do.
I think there's no question about it. It's crazy.
It doesn't matter what you think. Sorry.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to be negative now and be fighting now. And if you can't enjoy this, what is it that you can enjoy? Because guess what? No matter how good we get, the Super Bowl is always really difficult. It's a difficult path. There's injuries that come up. Things happen. It's never a guarantee. It's really, really hard. Everything has to go right for it to happen. It's not easy. So if you're if your attitude is the only way I can feel joy is by winning the Super Bowl, you're setting yourself up for a really long and hard and painful life. You got to enjoy enjoy the journey. Because if you enjoy the journey, even if we end up heartbroken at the end, at least you had the journey.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be angry and bitter and negative, then you have nothing. That doesn't make any sense to me.
It's like somebody going out to a 5-star restaurant, sitting down, getting handed the menu, and before you even eat the meal, I hear there's gonna be traffic on the BQE. You didn't even eat dinner yet. Enjoy the moment.
I can't even drive in the center lane.
They have it closed for construction.
If you smell what? The chaos is smacking.
But yeah, that's a really good point, man. It's just whatever happens, we don't know. We know for the first time we legitimately have hope in our team. We're in the discussion.
Yep.
We know
with good reason.
I'm not going to mention about us. We know that other teams will have injuries. So there's a lot that's going to happen. Tipped balls, drops, weather. A lot of things are going to dictate what happens with the season. But since April 24th, the New York Jets have been in the conversation and have been selected by some to be one of the last teams standing. So just that, it's something we haven't had in a long time. So with everything going on in life, I'm appreciating the little things. Being relevant has me appreciative of our team and the job that has been put together. Having 9 out of our first 11 games, either on national or primetime, that game of the week on Sunday afternoon, we haven't had 9 of those in the last 5 years combined. And 9 of our first 11, and the only 2, the Patriots and the Giants, 2 games that you figure would be there, but they're like, we can't give this team every week. So it's fun to be relevant. It's fun to have a legit chance to raise the trophy. And that alone, man, gives me like a chill up my spine and like goosebumps, because that's not something that's not a conversation we've been in. We've had it, we've hoped, but other people are having that conversation. So it's a new day, man. Hopefully that this lasts for a really long time. That's what she said.
Yeah. All righty, guys.
Johnny, I had that call with my dad yesterday. After watching it, I woke him up at 11:30 and I was like, tomorrow you're watching Hard Knocks again for the first time in 13 years. Do it.
Yeah. Saturday hit me. The Klecko speech hit me because that was my dad's guy.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Klecko was drafted the year before I was born. Revis was drafted the year before Nikki was born. And Nikki knows of Revis at a young age, and I knew of Klecko at a young age. So it's kind of weird how. And I'm sitting there with my mom, and she's watching, and she's like, your father loved him. I remember my dad had the Sack Exchange T-shirt in the early 80s with that cheap-ass thin cotton that would fade away, and the shirts would crack when they were washed. You know, we don't have that high-quality material that we have now. But it's good to finally have our franchise being recognized, right? Like, hopefully this is something that we can do for a long time. And be relevant.
Yep. Hey, Tigo, what do you got going on? What's coming up? What should people know?
Just recapping.
Diaper changes, couple bottles, big night lies ahead.
Yep. More diapers on the way soon. No, just obviously just really trying to follow training camp as heavily as possible and trying to give, not just the like the basic, like, hey, we practiced and Aaron Rodgers was 17 of 22 and trying to build a story here. That's kind of what I've tried to turn my channel into this year is not just covering the Jets, because if you want Jets coverage, you can go a bunch of different places, but trying to truly tell the story of the Jets this year, giving context to the stats and giving context to what's happening this year, because, this is, and I say it almost every video on my channel, this is an important year. You don't get these years very often, and it's really cool to be able to know that we're all going to be going through this together. So yeah, just Jet storytelling on my channel over the next couple of weeks while I can do it as vehemently as I can until the second baby shows up, where I might have to take a little bit of a step back because 2 under 2 I've heard is a hard time.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for you. I can't wait till
also what she said.
I can't wait. How about you, Nick?
Just hospital visits, elevating the leg.
Press conference show come back on soon?
Yeah, we'll be there tomorrow. Tomorrow's cool. No pads for Carolina. I had a doctor's
appointment. We might not have practice tomorrow.
Why? Weather?
Inclement weather.
They don't have indoors?
No, Carolina does not have an indoor facility.
Really? With the heat that you get in Carolina in July and August? I'm surprised. I guess they need to be below the Bengals on the $4 billion the franchise worth.
Really?
Yeah. So well, if there's the scrimmage tomorrow, we'll have it. Saturday, the game's at 4:00 on Saturday, right? A weird time for.
It's on Saturday.
I thought it was Saturday at 4.
Game is Saturday at 4.
That's weird. But it's national. It's nationally broadcasted, right?
I think it's NFL Network, right?
Cool.
Yes, NFL Network.
Cool.
Well, Jerry, I was telling you, for any game, I could set up StreamYard, put on Paramount Plus if it's on CBS or whatever, and you know how we watch the press conference before we go live?
Yeah.
I could do that and just enlarge the screen, and you can do the same, and you have the game on the live feed from New York.
All right, everybody.
The struggles of being out of network, right, Jeremy?
Yeah, man, it sucks. I will be back.
Of being a good guy.
It only hurts for preseason. I mean, what sucks is, yeah, I mean, for I'm gonna have to obviously pay you.
I feel like I was looking at Steve Carell in Bruce Almighty.
I'm gonna have to pay, or Bruce Campbell from Evil Dead Part 3. That's a cult classic kind of throwback callback. That's very old, but there might be some people out there that know what I'm talking about. When he has to do the spell and he didn't pay attention, so he doesn't know how to say it, so he goes, "Oh, goody," but anyway, it's a movie joke. But anyway, I will be back on Sunday night, 9 p.m. Forgot who's coming on, but I'll start. I'll let you all know, and I will be Thursday. Think of it tomorrow with Green Bean. I'll be backstage and maybe I'll come up and talk a little bit. So check me out there. Check me out on Sunday. And of course, I'll be on Talking Jets Saturday at 1 p.m. Western time, 4 o'clock Eastern, to do the game, the Jet game reaction show with Green Bean, I think. But anyway, everybody.
I feel like you were just like 60 minutes. You're like, and next we'll have 60 minutes, except for on the West Coast. Poor West Coast. You guys never get 60 minutes.
Take care, everybody.
Let's go! We need JJ! We want JJ! We want JJ! We want JJ! Let's go!
JJ! We got Johnson! We got Johnson at 26! We got Johnson at 26! This is great!
It is Matt, it is Richie. We are hanging out with the Jets Lounge guys. Richie, my man, how's it going?
Matt, this is sick. We're at the Jets Lounge event in Farmingdale. The main event is what it's called. We got the entire Rucker family over there.
Jets!